And if you doubt that it's an emergency, this story will add further color to that. The Madlanga Commission of Inquiry delivering a seismic shockwave to the nation's political landscape. This afternoon, we unpack the explosive new revelations that have placed high-profile figures under intense scrutiny. The spotlight falls squarely on the testimony of Dr. Imogen Mashazi, whose damning evidence has implicated senior officials in widespread malfeasance. We'll also examine the immediate fallout from Minister Senzo Mchunu and his testimony as his name surfaces in connection with the allegations and the Commission's sharp focus on the role of suspended Ekurhuleni Metro Police Chief Julius Mkhwanazi in the alleged scheme. So in a related escalation, the SAPS National Commissioner, General Fannie Masemola, set to brief Justice Mbuyiseli Madlanga on the investigation into the murder of Marius van der Merwe, known as Witness D, who was shot dead outside his Brakpan home. Van der Merwe had testified that EMPD Deputy Chief Julius Mkhwanazi requested the removal of a body from a Brakpan crime scene and allegedly called him, that is Witness D, to help clean it up. General Masemola will also discuss strengthened safety measures for all participants in the commission. So let's get into the discussion about all of this. I'm joined by Simon Howell, who is a criminologist from UCT, as well as Michael Bolhuis, who is a security expert. Before I go into those discussions, gentlemen, let's recap on what Witness D, the retired Ekurhuleni, in fact, let's start. I do want to start with the testimony of Witness D, simply because of the chain of events that has happened. So what we will do, I'll play a clip from the testimony of Witness D, the witness that has now been killed, and then immediately play a reaction to that, response to that, from the suspended Deputy Chief of the Ekurhuleni Metro Police Department, Julius Mkhwanazi. Then we'll get into our discussion.
Yaku Kershaw. Etienne was with me at that stage. So the Metro members, they all had a meeting with the soup away from myself and Etienne. Shortly afterwards, they returned to where we were. JD Mkhwanazi said that we needed to throw the suspect's body into a mine shaft or dump it into a dam. As he said this, he looked at me. Viandre then in turn informed me that I must take the body and dump it. They will show me where and that I should relax. Since my vehicle is marked, Viandre said it won't attract any attention. I was directed by Viandre at this stage where to park my bakkie next to the front door. That is as you're coming from the main gate. I was escorted to my vehicle by 2 EMPD members and told where to park it. Jaco essentially broke the gate to allow my vehicle entry into the property. I parked my vehicle at the designated spot and walked towards the main gate where I remained until they were finished.
You will just highlight the conduct itself. When we, as I say, when we deal with your statement in engagement, we'll get back there. So if you then just may turn your attention to the question of the letter of intention to commit and what you want to highlight about that.
First allegation, it was this one of blue lights. Second allegation, it was a dump kill body. Third allegation, it was me giving members instruction to work outside the city of Ekurhuleni. There was a fourth one. I said, no, it's fine. I can respond to those allegations. But this one of a dump boat, I didn't know it, you see. But these ones I know. Since I worked from 2005, we've been working outside the city of Ekurhuleni. I've got documentation to prove that. Since I started as a new 2005, specialized units, since specialized units were formed, we've been working outside till now. Even now, they're still working outside.
All right, and so there's the sobering reality that one of the voices you heard there, you will never hear again testifying any further and even if there was need to clarify any further, witness D has been killed. And that last voice you heard was Julius Mkhwanazi, the suspended Deputy Chief of the Ekurhuleni Metro Police Department. Let me get quick reaction from my guests now, and then we pick up on the conversation. Let me start with you, Michael Bolhuis. Let's talk about what we heard there, witness D, and the events of the last 24 hours. Our plan was to discuss what came out of the commission, but that has been superseded and overtaken by events. Of course, you and I don't know as we speak this afternoon the reason and the motive behind the killing of witness D. There are many possibilities, but also the probabilities in the minds of many people do feature and include that is possibly linked to his testimony at the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry. Your own thoughts?
It is absolutely, there's no impurity here. It's factual. It's absolutely factual. And I can assure you that the information is the reason why he is killed.
What does it say about these processes? Because, I mean, many people were glued to his testimony. It was jaw-dropping allegation after jaw-dropping allegation in a scheme that already was shocking on many levels about the connections between police officers and criminality. What does his killing do in our quest to get to the bottom of those allegations?
Well, first of all the information already gathered up to this point that was received from Fannie Merwe will be used. And our extreme condolences go out to the families and friends. And we're so sorry that this has happened. But this is what happens in a mafioso state. This happens when you have senior policemen, many policemen, extreme businessmen, people in government involved, working together and become an organized crime gang. Racketeering. You know, the criminals is not going to stand back. They're going to fight. People are killed for 3 reasons. 1, extreme emotions. 2, money. 3, information. If you have any information that is detrimental or to the harm of an organized crime group, he will be killed. And South Africa easily lends itself where criminals can commit the crime and can get away with it. And they will. I mean, they used an AK-47 here, they shot him properly, and they killed him thoroughly to make sure that he cannot further testify. And whilst listening to his testimony, this is not thumb suck. You can clearly, when we take testimonies in, we clearly look at body language, how you bring it across. It's profiling, it's called profiling. And I can assure you, this truth extraction out of the piece that you guys have played clearly shows that he had the evidence, he was given instructions, and this is what gangs do. They get rid of bodies, they clean up a scene themselves, and they will do whatever it takes to prevent them as a group committing crime. Julius Mkhwanazi is a super dangerous man. Let me tell you, we've been warning about him and the others for years, and we've always warned that this is going to happen. And now the criminals are unfortunately controlled in our country. It's not going to be easily brought down. There's no proper witness protection services in South Africa.
Yeah, in fact,
these should have still been alive.
Yeah, I'll come back to you in a moment, Michael Bolhuis, and I do want to bring Simon Howell into the conversation. And Simon, your areas of interest include drugs, gangs, violence, and your profile says general mayhem. But in studying all of those phenomena and how they take root in a society, what does the killing of witness D say to you? Working off the premise, of course, that we believe and suspect that it may be linked to his testimony at the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry.
Well, on the one hand, I mean, it is obviously tragic, and I mean, my condolences to the family. On the other, it's somewhat ironic that a commission that is essentially investigating organized crime, the result is that one of the witnesses is murdered by organized crime. I mean, it seems pretty clear that this was a means of silencing this individual, and because of the information he's given and the result, I mean, it shows sort of inadvertently the extent both to which individuals go, but also the reach of organized crime into the workings of a commission on organized crime. So, one was really questioning how far, or how distinct this process is now from the ongoings of SAPS and the ongoings of the government, and the entrenchment of this type of mentality into the way things are done.
Simon, let me stick with you and ask you about the protection of witnesses. What's your sense? Because the sense I get is that there are certain black holes and gaps in the system, whereas you've got the clearly defined witness protection program with the NPA's involvement, but there's those gaps where you don't know where a person fits in. They may be just doing their ordinary work as an auditor. They're not necessarily a witness, they're just doing a job, but they are at risk. So what does the scheme look like in terms of protecting people who are witnesses and whistleblowers?
Well, essentially, to gain entry into witness protection, there are three pathways, which is one, that you can request it, two, you can be mandated, or three, that someone from the director's office can tell you to go. But the problem is that witness protection is not really set up to deal with protecting individuals in the context of a commission of inquiry. It's set up to deal with people that are reporting in criminal cases and the like. So there's that concern. But there's also the concern that it is ultimately government that is providing witness protection. Now, the inquiry is an inquiry about organized within government. So as a result, the question to really protect when it is not some people who are under investigation, well, not the exact people, but the same departments and the like. There is the necessary distance between witness protection and the cases is not there, and is not sufficient enough to actually provide any real protection, I don't think.
Yeah. All right, we're battling with your line there, Simon. We'll see what we can do. I do now want to turn to some of the testimony for the last few days that came through from the Commission of Inquiry. Before I do that, let me play you this excerpt from Police Minister, the on-leave Police Minister Senzo Mchunu, who also took the stand at the Commission and tried very hard to defend his association with his alleged association with the attempted murder accused and alleged criminal kingpin, Vusumuzi Ket Matlala.
Now, the statement that he made, General Mkhwanazi, in that meeting, I've looked at it, well, Ms. Lengane looked at it and told me what it says. But it says that you and Mr. Mkhwanazi are receiving financial assistance from Mr. Matlala, who is an alleged criminal. Makes that explicit statement.
Correct.
Is that true or false?
It's false.
Yes.
It's false. There is no money that I have ever received from Brown Mkhwanazi, or he has received.
No, it's from Matlala, not from Mkhwanazi.
Or from Matlala.
Yes. What General Mkhwanazi said is that you and Mr. Mkhwanazi are receiving money from Mr. Matlala, who is an alleged criminal.
Oh, it's false.
Yes.
It's false.
Yes.
I'm not part of that. If Mr. Mkhwanazi has ever received any money from Mr. Matlala, that would mean that it was him and him alone receiving whatever he would have received. Myself, I've never asked for any money from Mr. Matlala. I've never met him. I've never spoken to him on the phone. I've never asked for anything from him. I've never received anything from him.
All right, so that was the police minister who is on leave, Senzo Mchunu, testifying at the commission. Michael Bolhuis, your own sense of that testimony, what did you make of it? Should these questions even be arising, that there is a possibility that the police minister, in one way or another, directly or indirectly, benefited from money that originally came out of the pocket of a man accused of such crimes, even if it did navigate various linkages before it got to him? Should we even be talking about this?
Yeah, we should. Look, this commission and this investigation is actually doing very well. And they're leaving no stone unturned. And that means that anybody that is mentioned, no matter who it is, must be given the chance to testify. Now, regarding Mchunu, it will all come out in the end. Because remember, we've said this before. It's one thing to say something. It's another thing when it's on black and white. Once everything has been done and dusted, it will be all presented in black and white, written format. Not a he says, she says, and this one throws the other one under the bus, and just stories and, lying and being deceitful. And as I've said, none of them is going to stand up and say, listen, I'm sorry. I have done wrong. I didn't protect and serve. I've taken a lot of money. I've made mistakes. I'll give back the Lamborghini. I'll pay out back all the money. I want to put it right, and I want to really protect and serve and do the right thing in this country. They're not going to do this. No criminals in this country will do it. They're going to do everything in their way, in any way, to get away. But in the end, everything will be presented in black and white format to prosecutors. And they are going to make the decision. And there, the facts will show of any cell phone communications, any emails, any forensic information, financial forensic information, any cybercrime information. This thing is the next DNA. It's all there. And hopefully the cybercrime unit and the crime intelligence unit has taken this very seriously, because since day one, that should have been monitored and that information should be retrieved. My opinion presently is that all of them should be taken in. They must give warning statements with rules and regulations in it, which will prohibit witnesses being killed.
All right, let's leave it there for this afternoon. Strong words from Michael Bolhuis, security expert. We were, of course, also joined by Simon Howell, a criminologist at the University of Cape Town.